Hello and welcome to this latest edition of the Premier League Zone. We're in the 10th round of matches in the Barclays Premier League, and there's more thrills, spills and occasions in the Premier League. More goals, more action, more controversies with VAR, and more surprises and more records being broken. Let's start with those records. From my notes here I can see a 9, and why do I say 9? I say 9 because of Leicester City. 9-0 they won at Southampton. Amazing performance, strong, mobile, full of hunger, desire to go for the record at 6-0. Johnny Evans, their defender, was screaming at the bench, come on guys, the record's there, you can do it. And well, they equalled one record and they won another record. They equalled the record of 9-0 with Manchester United from March 1995 when they won 9-0 at home at Old Trafford. And then they beat Man United's own away record of 8-0, which was against Nottingham Forest many years ago. Ironically as well, the two Schmeichels both having a protagonist in this. Kasper Schmeichel in the goal for Leicester, Peter Schmeichel in the goal when Manchester United beat Ipswich all that time ago. So a happy moment for the Schmeichels. But more records being broken from this game. Biggest win in history, the 131-year history of the Football League. Biggest away win ever. Biggest victory margin since, or biggest goal margin of 5 goals since Manchester City beating Burnley 5-0 at half-time. 2 hat-tricks for the first time in a game since Jermaine Pennant and Robert Pires scored for Arsenal against Southampton again. This time it was Jamie Vardy and Ayoze Perez. Ayoze Perez, strange one with him. He scored his last hat-trick against Southampton, becoming the first player since Luis Suarez to score with 2 hat-tricks with 2 different teams. Very, very surreal, the records being broken with that game. Leicester won on 20 points now. This is curious. 1 point more than when they actually lifted the title 3 years ago. The same, more or less, well, the same time, Leicester had 19 points. Now they've got 20. But back then, there was no team like Liverpool and Manchester City, so I don't think it's going to be their time to win the title, but it shows that already they're a point ahead of when they won the title. I think it was poignant that they won this weekend for a fitting tribute for their chairman, who tragically died around this time a year ago in that helicopter incident. So very much an emotional win for Leicester as well. In terms of Southampton, abject performance, terrible, lacking in ideas, lacking in motivation, lacking in a plan. They were all over the place. They were all over the shop, and yeah, there's some big moments for Southampton on the horizon, and it's not going to get any better, I should say, because they play Manchester City midweek in the Carling Cup, or the Carabao Cup as it's now known, I should say. And back in the league as well, they play Manchester City, so it's going to get worse before it gets better for Southampton. So yeah, the record 9-0 there for Leicester City, and made better as well for Leicester because it was in awful conditions as well, rain pouring down in St Mary's. Talking about the other teams challenging at the top, Liverpool and Manchester City. Well, Liverpool won again against Tottenham 2-1. They had to come from behind. Harry Kane scoring after just 48 seconds on the board. They were 1-0 up at half-time. Great goalie performance by Paulo Gazzaniga, making 12 saves in total, 10 in the first half. It's a record for the first time since David De Gea, when he made 14 saves against Arsenal, that a keeper has made so many stops in a match. Still wasn't enough though. Liverpool taking the lead in the second half thanks to, well, firstly a goal by Jordan Henderson and a penalty by Mo Salah. But there's a crucial moment in that second half, right at the start of the second half, when Heung-min Son hit the crossbar with a fantastic effort, and yeah, should have been 2-0. That game would have been different if it would have scored. Ifs, buts and maybes in football, as always, but that was a crucial chance for Tottenham. Tottenham team that haven't won in 11 games since away from home since Fulham back in January, and they're still having a lot of travails, the team of Mauricio Pochettino. But for Jurgen Klopp, only lost 2 points in the whole of this season, 28 points from 30. They are top of the league by 6 points still, and yeah, it's all looking rosy still for Jurgen Klopp's team. They like to grind out these wins. They like to come back from behind as well. There's been many times this season and last season where they've come back from behind to win at home. 45 matches unbeaten at home at Anfield. It's becoming your authentic fortress is Liverpool's Anfield Stadium. Speaking of Man City, they won 3-0 against, it was Aston Villa, of course. We have so many teams in my head at the moment. They scored 5 goals in midweek against Atalanta, scored 3 here against Aston Villa. Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilya Gundogan scoring the goals. Had a man sent off in the end by Fernandinho, but it was very comfortable for Pep Guardiola's team. And they still keep marching on. They've got the best goal difference record with 23 goals in their advantage for Manchester City, and they're still hunting Liverpool. Only 6 points at the moment. City pulled back 10 points last year, so it's still not out of it. Still very early days in the title race. I think it's just going to be a question of 2. I can't see the others coming into play, so it will be them 2 at the top. And Leicester, the best of the rest at the moment, joined by Chelsea. And Chelsea keep on firing. Fantastic performance by Frank Lampard's team. They won an impressive manner at Ajax in midweek in the Champions. Very impressive win by a 1-0. A great goal by Batshuayi at the end of the game. And they won again, 4-2 against Burnley. 7 wins on the trot. Hat-trick for Christian Pulisic, Captain America. Fantastic display from him, scoring his first goal, second goal and third goal for the club. Really coming to the fore, the American there. And a goal by William as well also. 2 goals were scored at the end of the game. Add some gloss to the scoreline for Burnley. A great goal. Fantastic strike from Jay Rodriguez from far out. It arrowed into the top of the net. With the keeper Kepa having no chance to save it. And Dwight McNeil also scoring for Sean Dyche's team. But it was a blue victory, and it's a fantastic run of form that Chelsea are on. A lot of criticisms at the start of the season, but Lampard's bedding in his team now. He's done a hell of a lot to bed the team in under difficult circumstances, blooding in the youth, and they're 4th with 20 points, the same as Leicester, doing really, really well. Very impressed by Lampard's work at this juncture. More news from the Premier League, and if Lampard's doing well, Unai Emery's not doing so well. The first criticisms of Unai Emery are coming out now. They lost against Sheffield United last time out away, and they could only draw at home against Crystal Palace. They were 2-0 up, but they conceded 2 goals to make it 2-2. It was a case of the defence for Unai Emery's team. Socrates and David Luiz scoring the goals. Milivojevic with a penalty, and Jordan Ayew scoring for Palace. Palace doing really well, 6th in the table, 15 points, just 1 behind the team that they played against, Arsenal, with 16 points. And Arsenal, I can see why the criticisms are coming. They've not really made much progress under Emery than with Arsene Wenger. At home, apart from this game, they've been bulletproof, but away from home, terrible. Problems with Ozil. Will he play, won't he play? This team should be doing better than they are with the players they've got. Nicolas Pepe still not finding his feet in the Premier League. With the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Dani Ceballos, he blows hot and cold. They really should be arguably where Manchester City are at the moment. They should be 6 points really more or less better off, but they're not. And it's mentally, again, where the old Achilles heel for Arsenal is. And playing like they are at the moment, they're just going to be exactly where they were last year in 5th place, which is simply not good enough for the team that I think is better than last year. But time will tell, as always. A team that shot up from the bottom to the top is Man United. They were 16th at the start of play. Won against Norwich by 3-1. Now they're 7th with 13 points. Good return from the international break for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Draw against Liverpool, a win against Norwich. Scott McTominay, Marcus Rashford and Martial scoring the goals. Onay Hernandez for Norwich. But curiously, 2 penalties were missed or I should say, 2 penalties was saved by Tim Krul. Fantastic display by Tim Krul, the ex Newcastle keeper, the Dutch keeper, making a fantastic stop by Martial and Rashford, but still managed to win 3-1. And yeah, very important victory for Man United to keep this good run of form going after the international break. Amazingly, they're only 3 points behind Arsenal, who supposedly a couple of weeks ago were having a monstrous, fantastic season. That's the Premier League in a nutshell, basically. You can blow hot and cold, and 1 week you can be amazing, the hero, and the next week you can be a villain. That's proving to be the Premier League. The shocks are plenty. Apart from the top 2, who are the top 2 by a country mile, the rest, yeah, you could argue a case for even Wolverhampton. They're only on 12 points at the moment, in 12th place, but they're only 4 points off 5th in Arsenal. It's very, very close at the top and the middle. Down at the bottom, Watford getting a draw. They are on 5 points. Norwich there in 7 points, and Southampton with the joint worst record with 16 goals conceded with Watford in 8th place. Newcastle getting a draw against Wolves 1-1 at home at St James's Park. They're on 9 points. And Everton, big surprise for me there, spent a lot of money over the summer, and they are in the relegation battle at the moment. And very strange what's going on with Everton there. I thought they would be a lot higher up in the table, but that's the Premier League. Shocks are plenty and surprises, and if you're not on your game, you can get beat, as they're shown. They got beat against Brighton in a thriller 3-2, who are doing well. They're 14th at the moment, joint with Tottenham, who they actually beat a few weeks ago 3-0 at home. They've got a very good home record, Brighton. Graham Potter, who came from Swansea, did well with Österland in Sweden, beating Arsenal in one of the games in the Europa League. He's got a very good track record, and slowly but surely he's doing well with Brighton. Very much going under the radar, but congratulations to Brighton, who are doing really well, playing a very good possession game, much more attacking and positive than in previous seasons, and they're doing well, doing very, very well under a budget there. And that's about it, really. We've got a load of games midweek in the Carabao Cup. Let me go through a few of them. Some big games here. Tuesday, 8:30. This is all Spanish time from here in Spain. Liverpool against Arsenal. Juicy game that will be. I see a lot of goals in that game. I think Liverpool will win it, but I think there'll be quite a few goals, like 4-2 or something. Aston Villa, Wolverhampton, Birmingham Derby, also 9:15. And Chelsea, Man United as well. 9:05 kickoff. That's all on Tuesday. And then for the weekend, we've got Arsenal Wolves. Big test that for Arsenal, because Wolves are a very handy team away from home, beating Besiktas recently. So that's at Saturday, 4 o'clock Spanish time. And Aston Villa, Liverpool. I think it'd be a good test for Liverpool. This could be a draw. Could see a draw here for Villa. They're decent, but if not, then probably just a slight victory for Liverpool. They know how to just nick a win, and that's why they will be the favourites for the Premier League at the moment, because they've just got that nous to just get over the line and find that little bit, that extra 2% to just get that 3 points. And that was the difference between this season and last year. Even though they only lost one game, they've got more resolve from the negativities of last season. And that's about it, really. I'll be back next week covering more of the Premier League. Thanks for joining me, and as always, long live the Premier League.